Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't.
Welcome back to the channel. My name is Daniel. If you're new around here, I'm a Filipino martial arts practitioner, content creator, former competing athlete, and as the title says, a world champion in the sport of arnis. I often get asked videos about how I train, and in this video, I wanted to share with you 3 of my favorite drills that I like to do and how I use these drills to prepare for the various FMA activities I like to involve myself in. Now, just to preface this video, I want it to be clear that this is very much a reflection of my personal journey, my experiences, and the things that I've learned in Filipino martial arts. And that means that it may not necessarily fit with your training goals, your training methodologies, or the styles that you practice. I'm sure different champions out there would have their own opinions, experiences, and preferences. So take this video, as any other video I post here on YouTube, as videos that you can probably draw some inspiration from or take some ideas from, as these are not necessarily meant to be primary references on how you should train. Having said that, let's get started. First, we have ritual. Ritual is the practice of free-flowing. It's kind of like shadow sparring, which I'll talk about later, but I don't necessarily have combative intent in my movements. When I'm practicing ritual, my intention is to emphasize the flow between the different movements that I'm doing. This is one of my favorite drills to do because it can feel really good when you get into it, and there's technically no right or wrong way to go about it. You just move freely. I'll sometimes do this with high intensity when preparing for a performance or getting some training done. And sometimes I'll just do this casually in my pajamas before going to bed. Ritual is very much a part of my daily life, and I actually do not have to go out of my way to find myself practicing it. In terms of application, this is what I use to prepare for exhibition competitions or any other performance-related activity. In fact, when I compete in Anyo, I don't memorize set routines. I ritual on the spot and just let myself flow. Next, we have shadow sparring. Shadow sparring is a drill involving sparring with an imaginary opponent. Compared to how I do ritual, there's a lot more intent here as I'm not only initiating but reacting to an imagined opponent. Now, I'd like to immediately say that this is not a replacement for actual sparring, but I do believe that there are practical reasons to do this. Sparring, whether light or heavy, has its risks of injury, and not everyone can afford to do so regularly. More so, finding a partner to take that risk with you can be a limited resource for some people. So what role does shadow sparring have? To me, it's a great supplement to actual sparring and a decent enough alternative to when that's not an option at all. A caveat to this practice though, especially for beginners, is that the quality of your shadow sparring is likely going to be determined by how much actual sparring experience you already have. Shadow sparring requires visualization, and the accuracy of how you visualize your opponents will really depend on how much experience you already have, since you don't have an actual stimuli or opponent in front of you. Now, in terms of why I like this, I enjoy this as a workout or exercise as I usually go at a higher intensity when I'm imagining I have an opponent. And when I'm doing this, my mindset is to prepare for sport combat applications, whether it's for a tournament or a friendly game with friends. I'm not preparing for anything beyond that, like a street fight or a self-defense scenario. Now, the third drill I love to do is isolated repetitions. Doing repetitions of the same movement has a meditative quality to them, at least it does for me, and it allows me to target the same muscle groups to emphasize conditioning. It's not just a memorizing tool for me, but an attribute development drill. Lately, I have especially enjoyed just doing redondas and sinawalis on repetition to work on arm endurance and speed. When I was still competing in tournaments, repetitions of the movesets I rely on for sparring formats I competed in were a crucial staple for my training. The more I do it, the faster and better I get at doing it. Both because with the familiarity with the feel of the movement, as well as the time taken to continue to observe and critique how I'm executing it. When it comes to my practice sessions, I generally like to keep things semi-structured, so I don't really hold on to a very specific routine. One example you can check out is a daily routine I put together a few months ago, and the link to that video should pop up somewhere on top or be in the description box below. In general, I try to understand what I'm preparing for at a particular moment and then use these different drills as a foundation for the training sessions that I do to prepare for whatever it is I am preparing for. I will tweak the specific nuances to what I need in that moment. This approach keeps me adaptable and it also prevents me from getting bored. But it also requires a decent understanding of fundamentals to be able to just wing these training sessions as you go. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below your thoughts, subscribe if you want more videos like this, and as always, I will see you in the next video.